Okay, we're here with Jennies volleyball head coach Flip Piontek after last night's 3-set win over Northwest Missouri.
I'm pretty sure I went to Maryville last night. Yeah.
As far as 3-set matches go, probably the hardest fought one you've had this year.
But not only was it a hard fought match, when you play teams, sometimes the teams, because of the environment or the day or whatever happens, sometimes you get the impression that they're not competing to beat you. They're competing to try their best and work through some things. I really got the impression that every single point last night that Northwest Missouri thought they could beat us. And I thought that was awesome. I mean, they played really, really hard every single point of every game. And that made the match really exciting.
Right. That third set in particular, the Jennies down, it was 24-20 with the Bearcats at set point. Jenny won a 6-point run to close out the match. Talk about what you were going through, I guess, in those 6 points.
I called timeout at 23. Everything seemed to be going okay. We took a couple good swings and just didn't side out. So at 23, I called timeout. We just talked about how we're going to side out, and side out would make it 23-21, and then we're going to serve a point or two to tie the game, and then see what happened after that. So that didn't work very well at all. They got point 24 right away. But the play we called, we couldn't run on when they served it at 23, so we get to run it again on 24. And then Julia, the front row, last night the matchups were very unusual. I usually don't change our lineup too much to adjust for the other team, but one of the outside hitters for Northwest was much smaller and speedier than the other, and that matchup caused problems with Julia. So we tried to adjust the lineup so that Kelsey Ortworth was matched up against their smaller outside hitter, and that was a pretty good matchup for us. And so when Julia went to serve, we got that matchup that we wanted, which helped us a little bit in that transition to defense from the block. And then when players go back and serve in situations like that, you have two options. You have an option of going back there and serving really, really scared because if you make a mistake, you're done, okay? Or you go back there and you serve really hard and you try to score a point. And I thought she did great. I mean, she went back there every time with a purpose, struck the ball well, and put them on just enough of the defensive that it gave our team a little bit of an edge in terms of knowing where the ball was going to go so we could transition. And the side out at 24 makes it 24-21, and those first 3 serves, any little mistake that you make the set's over. But the fact that her serve was good, our defense was able to get set, and then we could transition out of that defense. Right. Those are really key things, and in that light, it was a really, really good win. I prefer not to be down 23-20 calling timeouts, but as the team matures over the course of the years, you need situations like that to put them through to see how they're going to react, and they reacted terrific last night.
You talk about Julia with those serves there at the end of the game, and we've talked a lot this year about the seniors, Allie Huffman, Paula Harris, and Kelsey, and then Taylor Krejci. As far as the underclassmen, Julia has been right there all year long, but then Taylor Goodness, Brady Peniston, and Jamie Hayworth have kind of come into their own over the last month. How do you feel about the players will be returning next year as far as the development of the program?
I'm not worried about next year right now. I'm worried about playing Emporia on Tuesday night. When you look at Julie, yes, she's a sophomore, but it's her 3rd year in the program. And she got to train an entire year under Caitlin, our GA, and understood what was required of that position on our team. So, yes, she's only a sophomore, but it's not like she's new to the position. Brady had a spectacular match last night. She was terrific, particularly because of the things that we wanted to do offensively against them. We tried to adjust our game plan a little bit to take advantage of some of the things that we thought Northwest did for us. Paula, it was silly of me to try to ask Paula to do something that we haven't had her do all year. So we stopped that really quickly in the middle of game 1 with Paula. Right. But Brady really did take advantage of, and those are things that she does more than Paula, and so she didn't have any hitting errors last night. You can't take 20 swings and not make a hitting error. That's terrific. And so Brady's doing a very solid job for us. But again, she's a junior, but it's her 4th year.
Right.
So it gives her the advantage of knowing what we expect of her. Taylor Goodness has just done a really good job of growing into her position. Taylor, over the course of more this year than last year, her comfort level, I think, is increased, and her ability to decide, I can't do something with this ball, and putting it in play rather than hitting it into the antenna or trying to knock a hole in the net. Her decision making is so much better now that her choices offensively are allowing the ball to stay in play to give our team another swing later on if she doesn't have a good swing, and that's a huge difference for her. Jamie, in the back row, when you move Taylor over to the libero position, Taylor's job is really critical in terms of what we did last year. Jamie, defensively, serving-wise, is doing a terrific job for us. Matter of fact, just before Julia goes to serve, Jamie was back there, and I was going, this is the chance to make a little run, because it was like 16-19, and Jamie was serving. I'm going, oh, this is going to be good. We'll get a few points here, because she's so steady at the service line. So, no, the team is playing very well right now. And I do think that they understand the concept of team and how each individual person, they fit into the team rather than being the most important part of the team. So I think that's what's getting us through these matches last night. I didn't see any panic. I didn't see any nervousness in any of those games last night. The first game was a very, very close game. The first game goes different, and who knows what happens, because it was so close all the way through, and 22-22, 23-23, we side out and score, and we end the game, and poor Northwest looks shocked, because we could have been going forever in that game. So I was very happy with our mental approach to the game, getting on the bus, driving up there and everything. So it was a good trip.
All right. Now, I know you're not thinking about the winning streak that's going on as right now. You're focused on the next couple of games. And the next two are going to be some fairly tough tests in conference, with Emporia coming here and then the weekend going to Washburn. So you looked at Emporia a little bit, probably not Washburn too much, but what do you know about those two teams?
The match I chose to look at of Emporia was Emporia playing Washburn, so you kind of kill two stones with one. Yes, historically, and from my point of view, I think the team focuses on one task at a time better than trying to do two. And so really I won't do much on Washburn at all until we're finished with Emporia on Tuesday night. So Wednesday, when we come into practice, we'll start fresh for Washburn. And so as much as I want to say the kids are looking forward to the Washburn match, I really don't think that they're looking past Emporia. Emporia is a really solid team. They went 5 with Washburn in the match on Tuesday night this week. So they're going to give us everything we want. And the coach is a terrific coach. He knows how to win. And what I noticed on their team is they were here at our tournament earlier in the year, and they played Tampa, and they played Azusa Pacific early in the year at our place. And his team is younger, a lot like Northwest, and he was kind of struggling to find people to put in positions. Right. He's got that problem solved right now. And so the people he's got in the right positions, and the team is playing very well, and they're minimizing the mistakes that they made earlier in the year. To go 5 with Washburn is a significant accomplishment. Yeah. So, yes, next week is busy. Heck, next Saturday's match at Hayes, when you finish at Washburn on Friday night, get in the bus and drive all the way out to Hayes, that's going to be a hard trip. Truman found that out when they went to Hayes on Saturday after a match at Washburn on Friday night, losing at Hayes. So the whole week is a very difficult week for us, and so we'll take it one part at a time as we get going into the week.
Gotcha. Emporia State comes here next Tuesday night, and Coach Piontek, thanks very much.